자, 긴장하지 말고 손대로 해. 아무도 다치지 말고. 얘들아, 1, 2, 3.
Well, Rain, welcome to TalkAsia. This is your first concert in Korea this year. Your performances are known to be amazing. Your tickets sell out in seconds. Is this what it's all about?
I'm always grateful to all the fans who come to see me, and it makes me very happy. I try to put on the best performance I can for those fans. And I think you can say concerts to me are like life on a smaller scale.
Rain, how do you put these shows together? What's the process and what's your involvement?
For a single concert, roughly 200 staff members work together to prepare for it. The first thing I think about is how to make it innovative, and the second is to try something that's never been done before. We want a show that has a variety of things going on, but still looks natural. A lot of people, not only myself, put in a lot of hard work to make this happen.
You are the biggest pop sensation in Asia. How does it feel to be in your shoes?
There are times when I wonder, is this a dream or is this real? I'm very thankful for all the people I've been able to meet in Asia through my dramas, concerts, and other productions. And I'm grateful for the love they've shown me. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I guess the most important part is to keep on doing my best and maintaining what I've done so far.
But there is a lot of competition out there. What makes you special? What makes you stand out from the rest?
Trying my best is what's most important. You also need to have that one thing that you're better at than everyone else, which means you need to be irreplaceable. So for me, I need to try my best at all times, because there's always going to be someone out there who's better than I am and has more talent than I do. That's why it's important to develop what I have and make myself a better person. I believe that if you give it your best, something will always come out of it. And that, for me, I think, has been my special thing.
Now, you're part of this Korean cultural wave, Hallyu, as it's known. It's taken over Asia: music, soap opera, film, video games. Korea's really enjoying this golden age. What is it about Korean culture that resonates so well?
I think the reason why Korean TV series and songs have become so popular elsewhere is because there's a lot of talent compared to other countries. The ingredients, as I like to call it, are good. A lot of very skilled writers, directors, and singers have been around for a long time. But with the internet, it's now possible to access all of this content within a matter of seconds, which is why, compared to before, things have spread quickly and become popular among the public.
There are recent reports, though, that this cultural wave is waning. At one point, I think Korean cultural exports surpassed 60% growth, and now it's just over 10%. What do you think has changed?
The biggest problem, I think, is the term Korean wave. It doesn't sound right. It's a bit too self-centered. It shouldn't just be about exporting our own culture. We should use each other's cultures and exchange ideas. Let's say China with Korea and Korea with Japan, and not use the term Korean wave. I think the word Hallyu can actually create anti-Hallyu sentiments because it sounds so unilateral, which could be why some of the dramas and other things are losing popularity compared to before. It should be more about exchanging cultures and not just introducing to others what we have. Second, I think that because of the popularity in the market, a lot of people have jumped in for the money. And by introducing work with low quality, I think they've caused a loss of faith to some extent. These, I think, are the biggest problems right now.
What role can you play to ensure that this wave doesn't subside?
When I'm out there doing my work, I think what's most important is sincerity and trying my best. So I'll give it what it takes. But when I'm struggling, I'll show people that I'm struggling. And not only do I introduce people to the Korean culture, I also try to introduce cultures from other countries. People used to like men with more westernized looks, with double eyelids.
Did you ever consider getting cosmetic surgery?
잘 있었어요? 보고 싶었어요? 영화도 찍고 참 많이 했던 것 같아요. 그래서 죄송해요. 제가 비염이 좀 심해갖고 네, 영화도 하고 뭐 이런저런 일이 많아서 많이 늦어졌던 것 같아요.
Now, you weren't really interested in school as a kid. You were more interested in learning how to dance and imitating those from the television. Is this what you always wanted to do?
네, 어렸을 때부터
As a child, I'd always liked dancing. Michael Jackson was my idol, and I followed his moves and dances every day as a child. So as a child, I guess I spent a lot more time dancing than with my books.
연습을 하고 쳤었던 것 같아요.
Now, I believe that you had a rather strained relationship with your mother. She wanted you to pursue your studies. You wanted to dance. She died when you were 18 years old. Do you have any regrets?
후회
Of course, I do have a lot of regrets. There are times when I think I didn't do well enough for her. But as I said, my mother was the greatest motivation for me to try to do my best. And I'm still working hard because I feel guilty about my mother. That guilt, a lot of it, I think comes from the time seeing my mother in bed, 10 days before she died. I asked myself, is the pain I'm going through greater than what she's experiencing? Whatever it is, the pain will never be greater than the physical pain that she went through. So no matter what happens, I have to give it my best. This is what I've thought. So that's probably why I'm able to work hard regardless of the difficulties that I may come across.
해봤어요. 그래서
Despite the regrets that I have and the guilt that I have with my mother, I think I can now think of myself as her proud son and a good friend.
You were quite shy and introverted when you were young, so how does a kid like that choose and pursue a profession in the limelight?
It all changed because of dancing. Dancing changed everything in my life. I realized at one point that it's dancing that I have a talent in. And after realizing that, I think it's when I started being less introverted and more proactive.
You struggled to break into the industry. You auditioned with at least a dozen music labels. They all knocked you back, and mainly because of your looks. You weren't considered good-looking enough. How did that make you feel?
Only 10 years ago, people used to like men with more westernized looks, with double eyelids and handsome guys who looked Western. But the good thing is, around the time when I debuted, that started to change a bit. And people started to appreciate those who looked different, but were attractive in their own way, more Asian-looking. I'd been turned down by a lot of agencies in the past because I didn't have Western looks. But I met my former producer, J.Y. Park, who dug out my strengths and maximized what I had. So lucky for me, at the time when I debuted in 2002, the public started to appreciate people who have a certain charm and are fit, which is how I made it.
One of the criticisms, I think, was that you didn't have a double eyelid, which is what the majority of Asians don't have. Did you ever consider getting cosmetic surgery?
To tell you the truth, I did go to see a plastic surgeon with my producer. And I was told, well, you see, in Asia, they say the fortune that you have in your face, in your looks, is very important. And they say a person's life is all in the individual's face. There was one time when we did book a session for plastic surgery, but I was told that the fortune in my looks is so good that I shouldn't change anything. So I decided against it.
Most people who were continually knocked back would say, this career is not for me. And yet you persevered, you pursued it. What drove you? What was your motivation?
By nature, I don't like losing. The more criticism I get, the more it gives me a stronger urge to win. So I try harder. So I tried harder each time, and the more times I was turned down, the more I believed I was getting closer to making it. A lot of people in Korea say that failure is the mother of success. So I believe that the more times I failed, the more likely I was to succeed.
Your breakthrough came in 2004. You just released your third album. It sold 1 million copies in Asia. You appeared in the Korean soap opera Full House. You were absolutely everywhere. How important was this to developing your profile, your image?
That was the starting point in some ways. My third album, It's Raining, and after that, the TV series Full House, were both well received by everyone and very popular. And I think that's what became the base for me. So after that, I was able to do an Asian tour and concerts in other regions, which I think was probably what made me a bigger star.
Now, you've had quite a controlled private life. You've managed to remain scandal-free. You are 27 years old. So how have you managed to maintain that?
In the past, I made a promise to my family. Because I grew up poor and lived in a poor environment, there was a time when I had no choice but to try my best at everything. And during that time, I decided I wouldn't let myself get distracted by anything, that I'd be true to what I do. In the midst of that, my mother passed away. And because of that, I think I was able to focus on what I was doing without any scandals or rumors going around.
Now, I have to ask, on behalf of all your female fans, do you have a girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend, but I would like to meet someone. I don't know, maybe I might meet someone soon.
네, 생각이 돼요. 네.
Ninja? Are you kidding me?
Ninja Assassin.
I put my heart and soul into this movie, Ninja Assassin. I'm hoping people expect a lot from this movie, because I don't think they'll be disappointed.
Ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, rain, go, hey, ho, JL, yo.
In 2007, you were voted as Time magazine's most influential person of the year in an online poll. Was that life-changing?
전환점보다는
Rather than saying it was a turning point, it was something that I couldn't really believe.
좀 굉장히
And I have to admit, I think a lot of opportunities came my way because of it, such as starring in Hollywood films. It brought about a lot of opportunities.
계기들이 많이 생겼죠.
Now, you beat US comedian Stephen Colbert. He came in second place. He challenged you to a dance-off. You appeared on his show. You cannot buy that sort of publicity.
Hello? Somebody there? I'm sorry, we're closed for the night. You're gonna have to come back tomorrow.
I don't think so.
A lot of people liked the fact that I appeared on the Stephen Colbert Show. So we did a dance battle on stage, and it seemed to please many people. It was something that I more than willingly accepted. And because I also came in first place in the Time popularity vote, he very wittingly asked the question, "Who is Rain?" on his show, which I really enjoyed watching, and it was a fun experience for me.
많이 즐겼던 것 같아요.
In your previous interview with TalkAsia back in 2005, you said that your ultimate goal was to crack the US. Has that happened?
이제 드디어 조금씩 이루어져가는 것
I think it's finally slowly happening. All the hard work that went into the Hollywood film, which is about to premiere, and with that as a starting point, I think I'll be doing a lot of other pieces and songs in the future. So I'm very happy that I'm slowly making progress in realizing my dream. I'm not saying that I want to conquer the US market. I just want to get myself known bit by bit.
엔터테이너가 됐으면 좋겠어요. 네.
Why is it so important to crack the US? Is it money? Fame?
미국 시장이라는 자체는
In the past, America was the world hub for culture. So the music that was popular in LA would become popular in Europe, and then it would spread to Asia. But I think things are now changing a bit.
유행했던 음악들이 유럽에서
The music in America has all been of this same kind. But I think now we need to combine music from India, a bit from Asia, a bit from Europe, all together to create a new genre.
미국 시장에서 했던 음악은 늘 똑같은
Before, the makeup of the market was very uncertain, so it was more of a difficult sell. But now, we have a much more certain market, and pirate copies are slowly being blocked out, and the market is growing, and it's expected to get bigger. I think that maybe the center of the market may slowly be shifting to Asia.
미국 진출을 하게 된 거죠.
Now, I understand that you're learning English, mastering English. When can we expect an English album?
지금
I'm studying English, but usually I speak Korean when I want to express myself better at official events. Of course, I also answer some of the questions in English.
제가
I am preparing my English album, and I'm looking for the best timing to do that. But I'm not sure exactly when that will be, because I think it will only be successful if I'm fully prepared. I hope the fans can wait a little longer.
되지 않을까. 예.
Now, you've broken into Hollywood. In 2008, you starred in Speed Races, produced by the Wachowski brothers. It was panned by the critics, but a success at the box office. What was your experience like in Hollywood?
그 스피드 레이서라는 영화 자체는
For me, I think it was the warming up period and the first step as well. So it was a big honor for me, and I think the Wachowski brothers appreciated my hard work.
영광스러운 작품이었죠.
Now, I read that you got depressed whilst you were in the United States. Can you tell us about that?
I think it was more being lonely than being depressed. I started working out for Ninja Assassin, but not getting enough sleep and not being able to eat properly. I wanted to come back to Asia and eat a lot of good food and hang out with my friends. So I think it was more a battle against loneliness at the time.
Your entire life has brought you to this moment. The time has come for you to prove. Come here! A ninja? Are you kidding me?
Now, you've just finished filming Ninja Assassin, also produced by the Wachowski brothers. They're obviously a big fan of yours. It's going to be released in the United States in November. There is a lot of hype surrounding this film. What do you hope to achieve from it?
Ninja Assassin이라는 이 영화는
I put my heart and soul into this movie, Ninja Assassin. For about a year, I couldn't eat properly. I was working out from 7 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. And I went through a lot of pain in my efforts to get 100% of the character who I was playing. The numerous action sequences that I shot and the martial arts moves were extremely difficult. And at the time, it was extremely painful. But looking at it when it was done later, it didn't look like me, and it just looked amazing.
You can call it whatever you want, but they are out there, and they are killing people.
There are a lot of action sequences that I think take things to a different level from other movies like Kill Bill or The Matrix. So I'm hoping people expect a lot from this movie, because I don't think they'll be disappointed.
보러 와주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
Now, we asked your CNN fans to suggest some questions, and we got thousands of responses, but I want to ask you some that have been sent in. One fan asks, as a Korean celebrity trying to succeed in the Western market, what do you think has been the biggest obstacle for Asian celebrities who have tried to cross over into Hollywood before you, besides language?
어떻게 보면 장애물은
I don't think there are big obstacles, because it's time for the East and West to meet. If there is one, I think we're in the same level in terms of competition. If only I work hard, I think I can succeed. I think you also need the best team to support you. That's the biggest, most important issue.
숙제이고 방법인 것 같아요.
What do you prefer, singing, acting, or dancing?
그건
That question is like asking me who I like the most, my mom or my dad. I love them both. I love them all, singing, acting, and dancing.
좋아요. 네.
Well, Rain, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
you very
Thanks
much
for interviewing.
for joining.
생각해 매일같이 바로 내 눈앞에 서 있어 네 모습 난 달콤해져 You are beautiful lady 너는 언제나 나의 아름다운 자기
And the show doesn't stop here. You can check out more TalkAsia interviews online at cnn.com/TalkAsia.